Hi, my name is Demardrick Banks, and this is my first assignment for organizational leadership. About me. I was born in Hobbs, New Mexico in 1994. I'll actually be 22 years old tomorrow. I am the oldest of three children. I don't have any kids right now. In high school, I played basketball and I ran track. I was on varsity for track for 5 years in a row. I got to run varsity track when I was in 8th grader. I graduated with honors from Hobbs High in 2012. I then shortly moved to Albuquerque for college in August of 2012. Originally, I was going to go to Texas Tech, but I changed my mind at the last minute. My mom was really pushing for me to go to Texas Tech because she's a Tech alumni. So I would say about 3 weeks before I had to start school, I was supposed to start school at Texas Tech, I decided to come to Albuquerque instead. I originally started at UNM and then decided I wanted to major in oil and gas management, and that wasn't available there. So I then made the choice to come to New Mexico Highlands. I first started at Highlands last summer. I really liked how all the classes at New Mexico Highlands were small. All the teachers are really hands-on and stuff like that. And at UNM, all the classes are like really, really big, and just it's pretty good to have like your instructor know you by first name and all that kind of stuff. I love all sports. I would definitely call myself a sports fanatic. I love the Philadelphia Eagles, the Duke Blue Devils, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Boston Red Sox. I plan on graduating from New Mexico Highlands in the fall. I also later plan on getting my master's either from New Mexico Highlands or from ASU. About the author of the article I chose. The author that wrote the article I chose is Abraham Zelaznik. Zelaznik was a professor at Harvard Business School for 40 years, and he wrote 16 books during this time. He had a strong emphasis that character shaped how leaders made their decisions. In one of his articles, he argued that leaders are twice born, and the second birth is the result of a major career disappointment. He was heavily influenced by the school of psychoanalysis, which thought that character comes from the compromises a person makes between reality and his personal desires. Zelaznik died in 2011, and during this time he was professor emeritus. A professor emeritus is where a professor still has an office and still has access to the library and all that kind of stuff. About the article I chose. The article I chose is called Managers and Leaders, Are They Different? The article talks about the difference between managers and leaders. It compares them, contrasts them, and just pretty much consists of Zelaznik giving his own take on it. The article says the difference lies in the conceptions they hold deep in their psyches or chaos order. Zelaznik takes it deeper than just the basic comparison and contrasting of managers and leaders. He talks about their personalities, their attitudes, their goals, their developments, and even their conceptions of work. In the article, you can definitely see that Zelaznik had a psychology influence just based on the comparisons he was making about the two and the things he was comparing. After reading the article, I noticed that leaders and managers are completely different, and in order for a company to succeed, it needs a manager and a leader. Linking to reality. With my current job, I am a manager, which is the reason I chose this article. I feel that with being a great manager, you have to have leadership skills as well. You can't expect to lead a team to success when you lack leadership skills. Me personally, as a manager, I find myself leading all of my staff on the daily. I think in order to have all your staff on the same page and to work hard, you have to lead by example. So bottom line is, I think leaders and managers are different, but to a certain extent. I think that some managers are leaders, but I also think some managers lack leadership skills. If a manager lacks leadership skills, you can tell by the relationship they have with their employees and their attitude towards work. Leaders lead and managers manage, but a great manager manages and leads. Interview with the great leader. So I sent out an interview / questioned my general manager at my hotel and just asked him about being a leader and what he thought was the toughest thing about being a leader. My GM has been my manager for over 2 years now, and he's the one that promoted me to manager. He told me that he thinks that what separates leaders from managers is the way they handle tough situations. He said being in the hospitality business, he has seen a lot of managers and a lot of leaders. He said a leader can get his team through any troubling task, where a manager can only get his team through a certain task, and the other task, they defeat the team. He also said being a leader of a huge group of people like he is, you hurt some people, but he's sure many leaders have done that in the past. He said this is the toughest thing, especially when you care about all your staff. That's the end of my presentation. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.